Hi there. Wanted to shoot a quick little video to share with you how I'm using my Green Stalk vertical planters this year. Hold on just a minute. A Green Stalk, here you can see one that's all put together. Oh, that's a bit, oh, here, sorry. Okay, so here you can see one that's all put together. I have the kind that has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 layers, so a little bit deeper, 6 pockets on each one. These things are deceptively larger than they look. Each one of these tiers holds more than a bag of potting mix. I'm not going to say for sure that it holds 2 cubic feet. It may be a little over a cubic feet, but you're supposed to fill it pretty much all the way to the top. So this one's not quite full yet. And it definitely takes a lot of potting mix, and you do want to use something more in line with being a potting mix. You would not want to just use a garden soil. That would end up getting too compacted over time. But basically you can grow anything in a green stalk, and each pocket is quite deep. You can see by my hand here, I'm not sure how many inches, but at least probably 7 or 8, maybe more inches deep, especially if you've got it full like you're supposed to all the way to the top. It's got a really clever watering system. Each of the individual tiers, once it's all together, will have this little disc. Water is going to come down through the center hole into this disc. It's going to drip out of a little drip hole. There's one for each of the pockets, and waters and at the top, on the top tier, there will be something that looks kind of like this, and that's where you would fill it up with water. And basically you're going to put water in here and just keep putting water in here until you start to see water run out the bottom, because what that tells you is that water has filled up each of the watering discs all the way down, which will then give it enough water to water that tier. And then the next one has filled up, and then if it's starting to run out the bottom, there is enough water in the individual discs to water that tier, and you can stop putting water in the top. So it's a really clever system, made in the USA, I believe, which is also something. It's nice to support a company here in the States and people who live here. And very quality. They've got different colors. I have the one that's got like a texture that makes it look somewhat like a basket weave, and I just really like this. Last year I was able to grow some strawberries and some herbs, and in 2 of the tiers that I had last year as an experiment, I tried growing potatoes, and I have to tell you, I made a video on it if you want to check it out, and I got better sized potatoes from these than I did the grow bags or in my garden bed. So I don't know if I just didn't do some things right in the garden bed and then the grow bag. I think with the grow bags, I didn't realize how much water I needed to make sure I was giving them. I didn't realize how fast the water dissipates out through that fabric on a grow bag. So I'm going to try those again still this year, and this just worked really well, and it was super easy to harvest because I just picked up the tier, took it over to a little tarp that I laid out here on the patio, basically dumped it out, dug through the potting mix, picked out my potatoes, and then picked up the tarp, dumped the potting mix back in, and then this year I am reusing a lot of that potting mix. I'm adding to it to fill it back up, and I'm adding some amendments that will help out the potatoes to have a really good start. Some things that I have seen on several people on other YouTube gardening channels recommend, so I'm going to give it a try this year. So one I've used before, and that is bone meal, and so that's a really good natural organic thing to put in. I use the Espoma brand. I use a lot of their stuff. I just really like the quality and trust that they are having things in there that are good for my plants and good for me. This is something I saw M.I. Gardner do I think I've seen somebody else use something like this too. They're alfalfa pellets. So it's actually something that you would use to feed like a horse. Got it at the local Tractor Supply. And I did check to see these are a type where it should not sprout. So as it breaks down, these should not have seeds in them that I end up with alfalfa all through my garden beds. So they're basically like little dried up pellets. And I put some of these, I shook these all over the my garden, my vegetable garden, late winter. And it was the most interesting thing. As the elements got to it, they kind of broke down and they formed almost a natural looking, I don't know if it's natural, but they formed like a mulch over the top of the garden beds. And I'm wondering if that will help with like some weeds, but also hopefully what these will do is give a nice nitrogen boost to whatever you've put them on. So this is giving a nice nitrogen boost. The bone meal gives a nice gentle, I think it's phosphorus boost, as well as a nice calcium boost. So that's really good. I will also be putting both of these when I plant tomatoes because that will help prevent some blossom end rot. So what I'm doing is I've got these most of the way filled up, kind of loosened everything up, sprinkled some alfalfa pellets, some bone meal. I'm going to stick my potatoes down in there. And I'll show you that in just a second, but basically I'm just going to put my hand in here, make a nice deep hole, get the potato down to about here, and then fill it back in. I'll kind of mix this up so that the bone meal and the alfalfa kind of gets mixed in and isn't just sitting on the top. Once I get one potato, and you want your potatoes to have been to be seed potatoes and have already developed some eyes like this. You want to make sure, even if they're not big like this, you want to make sure they've got some eyes, at least two. Stick those in there with the eyes facing up. And then once I've got one potato, just one potato in each of the pockets, then I will take some compost, and I just have some, also happens to be from Espoma. It was bagged, it was on sale, so that's what I got. Some mushroom compost blend, any really compost would be fine, but I'm going to add a layer of that up to about here, and then I'm going to top it off with some more potting mix, give that a little gentle mix, and then add just a little bit of a gentle fertilizer on the top of each. And hopefully that's going to get my potatoes a really good start, and they may not need any more fertilizer with these things that I'm putting in here. So that's something I'll keep an eye on, the health of the plants, and see how they are doing here in a couple of months. But I think this should set us up for a really good, hopefully, potato harvest. I am doing potatoes in probably 1, 2, 3, 4. At least 6 or 7 of my layers this year. I'm going to try to do one with strawberries if the bare roots will wake up, and then maybe one tier over here if the strawberry plants over here wake back up and made it through the winter, and then maybe one tier with some herbs that'll be, because this is right outside the kitchen, that would be nice to have some herbs a little faster to get to. But otherwise everything else is going to be potatoes. So let me get my glove on and show you putting that potato in there. All right, so here's my potato. The eyes are going to be facing up. I'm going to scoot some dirt this way so it doesn't come out of the pocket when I'm moving things around here with my hand. Then I'm going to dig down deep with this hand and pull this dirt all the way back. And then, normally I would do with this 2 hands, but I want you to be able to see. And then I'm going to shove this potato down there, being careful not to break off any of the eyes. So you can see that's nice down and deep in there. And then I'm going to pull this over first because that's where the alfalfa pellets and bone meal are. And then just zhuzh this around. And there you go. Then we'll add the little bit of a layer of compost, a little more potting mix, kind of zhuzh it around, a little bit of fertilizer. Once I get it done, put the watering disc, and then just keep going. So there we go. Potting up some, the sun is coming out right in my eyes. Getting my green stalks all planted up for this year, putting mostly potatoes in here. Thanks for joining me here at Aunt Susan's Garden.